What if I told you that closing high ticket deal is not about luck? It's not about charisma. It's not even about having the best product, but it's about finding the right people. And in just three moves, I'm going to show you how you can close high ticket deal within 30 minutes. Regardless of any sector or any industry you work in, then stay with me to the end of the video. I'm going to show you the exact framework that top sales professionals are using to close their high-end tickets in 2025. So before we dive in, let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked away from any deal, probably because you didn't get the green light, or you've been following someone for weeks and you discover that it doesn't have the final say over the issue, or it was the wrong person that you've been following up with? This is because any deal, regardless of the sector you're working in, industry, require three key players to close any deal. And these are the recommender, the decision maker, and the influencer. If you can identify these three core people in any deal, the deal will keep prolonging. And I'm going to take them bit by bit. Who are they, and how to identify them in any deal you're trying to close? So the first of all is the recommender, and I want you to look at them as the gatekeeper in any deal you want to close. The recommender, they are like the gatekeeper. They don't have the final decision to make on any deal you're trying to close, but they are like the one that could take your offer to the decision maker, that could hear your offer at the decision maker table. And how best can you identify them? Most of the time, they are the one looking for the solutions. They are the one searching for vendors. They are the one looking for the solutions. Most of the time, not the decision maker. And most of the time they are approachable, also open for discussion. So how do you engage with them? How do you engage with them? So this is where a lot of people make their first mistake. So you don't go there and start discussing futures, start discussing what your the value of your products. Firstly, you want to ask question. You want to ask the right question by focusing, trying to get their pain points. You want to know what best, you want to start asking them the right questions to know how best you want to deal with them. And also, you want to position yourself as a solution. And we want to talk more on the solution you are bringing to the table, not about the futures of your products. Because in the business term, we call it most of the time people speaking vernacular. There's language for every industry. So you want to be sure that you are conversant with the language of the industry. You want to make sure you understand the language, what expectations, and how you can manage the expectation of the recommender within the confines of the deal you're trying to close. So I'm going to give a real life scenario. At the point in time, we're trying to sell a solution to the Ondo State government, and we first have to identify who the recommender will be to get into their account. And at that point in time, the most acceptable person that we know that has the listening ear of the governor, which we already identify as the decision maker on that account, was the governor's son, because we could easily access him. So the first thing we have to do is to first get to sell the solution to him, not the future, because that's number one mistake many salespeople make. When you get to your recommender, you're telling them, okay, this is going to do this. This you focus on your futures rather than selling them the solutions so that you can build trust with them, and also listen to their pain point to know how best you want to work with them. So you know where you're supposed to be speaking English, you're not speaking vernacular. And when I mean vernacular, I don't mean vernacular in terms of vernacular, but it's about speaking the language of the market, the language of the recommender, what you understand, what's his own pain points. So when we're able to sell him, and the earlier we can sell to the recommender we already know does not have the final decision. He could not give the final decision on the sale, but he has how he can help us get our message to the decision maker faster than using the traditional method of probably sending proposal, going for presentation, and doing all those. But like this, we can get feelers. Even by onboarding the recommender, we could get some re-editing on how best to approach the government, what is like the best route, should we position the proposal properly, what do we need to put into it, where is the focus of the government, and how best do you think this. So I think we get that. so I don't overboard that. So that is what the role of a decision maker and how best to engage with them. So next on the line is the decision maker. The decision maker. So like the name said, they have the decision to say yes to the deal or no. And we want to know how best to identify them. Most of the time, they are like the top hierarchy of the organization. Maybe the CEO, the board director, the president, the governor, or the the person that had the final decision over the deal. That's like the this decision maker. And you want to know how to, so like what I explained now shows you how to identify them, and secondly how to engage with them. Many other times they don't have time to waste. They are mostly concerned about okay, what is the ROI, what is the benefit, what's the scalability of the solution. They are more precise because they are more particular about the growth rather than the other benefits or whatever you have discussed with the recommender. So firstly, what you want to be sure is you have done your homework before meeting with them. You have also done your research on the organization, how your solutions aligns with the goals and direction of your organization. And you want to be very precise. You don't want to start having a, maybe probably you are presenting your solutions to them, a PowerPoint solution that is going precise, straight to the point, making references to how exactly how your solutions address their problem. Also, how is it turning to nearer and cover for them, or how is your solution saving them from spending more? Because that is what boils down to once it gets to that table. So you want to be very, very direct and also solution driven in your in presenting whatever you're presenting. So you don't want to start going left, right, center. How is this thing turning to either reducing my cost or getting me to make more money? And that's what a CEO wants to listen to. What is the ROI of my investment in so time, in maybe 1 year, in a space of 1 year, 2 years? What is the scalability? What is so I'll give you a real life scenario. At the point we're trying to sell a ERP solution to a media company. It's a media and paint company, and we've done the part of the recommender that have paved us the way to meet with the decision maker, which was then the CEO. And the meeting we had to present the solutions to him. So at that point, what the CEO is looking for, because many a time the solution we are bringing to the table, it's what any other person can also deliver to the table. But it's now for you as a salesperson to be able to distinguish yourself and also sell to them things that could that they might not be looking at. Because what makes people buy, there are three things that make people buy. Probably one is past passive void, present passive void, and future passive void. So if you have made something in your past and now in your present you desire it so much, or secondly it might be something you desire so much in the future and you have the opportunity to acquire it now in the present. So those are like the critical pillars that you want to fill in. Okay, so part of what we did then was firstly we show him the big picture of what this can be saving him. They are running a production company where they don't have an inventory of what the inflow of production to what the purchase to. So they don't even know if they are making profit. They are just doing costing on assumption. So we set up a system that already does that. And we are not just telling him, okay, this software can this feature, this feature, this feature. So because many a time the decision maker are not technical people, but in some cases we have decision makers that are very technical about their field. Some decision makers are just mostly concerned about, okay, how is this thing saving 10 kobo for me? How is it adding 10 kobo to my company? How is it adding value? So you want to be very precise about this when discussing with your decision maker. And we're able to close that deal at the sitting. Like at the sitting, we're able to sign the deal, the relationship agreement, to even start training, because we're able to sell him the solution. We're able to show him the naira and kobo of how this system can help him probably monitor and also give him a good standing on pricing, not to price himself out of the market, and also to make sure that he's making a good profit margin on his product in the market. So you can see that from the back end of data. So this is just a real life scenario. So in whatsoever field that you're working in, you want to make sure you break your solution when you have the time to discuss with decision maker, and you know what you're saying. You know what you're saying. Also, you want to be sure that, because people pay for solution, and you don't want to go to a decision maker and looking like they are helping you, at even if they are richer than you, probably because you're working mostly with high network individuals. You want to still make sure that, so a billionaire approach a doctor, even though the doctor is a millionaire, he still has to listen to him, because the doctor have gotten a depth of knowledge in a particular field that is lacking in. So in regardless of your field you are, you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. Just like the Bible say that a man should be diligent, a man that is diligent in his skill shall stand before king and not mere men. So diligence brings kings to you. So you have to prove your diligence before the king, so that they can also what comes to you and keep coming. And we're gonna move straight to the influencer. The influencer. So they don't have the final say, but their say really matters. They don't have the final say, but their say really matters. And you don't want to joke with them. So how do we identify the recommender? So in different cases, the recommenders, the influencers, how do you identify them? In different cases, in different industry, they are different. They take different form and different shape. So just like the decision maker, they are mostly the top person, the president, the CEO, the board of director, the governor. They are mostly easy to identify, but in case of influencers, they are always not that easy in some different cases. Their decision carries weight to the decision maker. So maybe probably the advice they are giving to the decision maker, their inputs, the decision maker wants. So let's take for instance in a corporate organization, the influencer might be like the head of department of where your solution is trying to work, or probably the supervisor, or probably even the partner of the decision maker. And how do you now manage them? I'm still going to come to how you to identify them, because they take different form in different industry, in different cases. They take different form. In the particular of the one, the ERP solution that we sold to the paint production company that I told you about earlier, it was the partner of the, probably his wife, but he was part of the company. He's very vast in the subject matter. So even at the point of presenting, he was questioning us. He was very technical. So in handling people like that, firstly, you want to make sure you are not trying to oppose them or trying to water what they are saying down, because many a time they might throw challenging question, or because they also want to prove their technicality most of the time, or they want to prove that they know what they're doing also to the decision maker. So you want to take whatever they say in, and also politely reply with how what you are offering is aligning with the goals and missions of the organization. Do you understand? So they will always be take the form of want to, because they want the best. Before they can take the position of an influencer, they have the best interest of the decision maker. So you also want to make sure that you can accommodate them into what you're trying to present to the organization. In the case of when we're trying to sell to the Mondo State government, the person that takes position of the influencer was one of the political leader in the state that the governor listened to. So in this case now, it was also sold to differently. Not like the decision maker, but you have to have the buying. In politics, more like loyalty. In some cases, it has to do with also taking the bidding of the influencers. So because these are people that can at a phone call can talk to the governor on this. Okay, I think these people are like the best people for this job. Why don't you let us give them a try? And the governor at a point will close your deal. So bringing the three of them together, from the recommender to the decision maker to the influencer, you already know any deal you get into, once you can identify these three core people, you sure you can close your deal within 30 minutes. Sometimes it might be lengthy, but once you understand it, identify them, it makes your journey faster and more smoother. You don't waste your time with the wrong person. You don't spend much time on an account. You can close an account that you can identify them. You know that that account is going to go long, 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 and keep. Then someone will push you from table A to place. Once I get into any account, the first three people I'm trying to look at: who is the recommender, who is the decision maker, and who is the influencer. So by understanding these people, you know you can close your deal as fast as possible. And so aside from even just closing the deal, once you identify them, you want to make sure, because the whole purpose of business is creating a solutions that someone is willing to pay for at an amount that is profitable to you, and you can that also can you can do it repeatedly. So that makes you that you already have a business. So it has to be you. So one of the things you have to be focused on also is you have to be problem solving oriented. You want to make sure that you are very obsessed with people's problem. Once you becomes obsessed with people's problem, selling to this category of people will be easy. And also the number two step also is how do you sell to them, because how to sell to these three people are different. You just the way you sell to the decision maker is not the way you sell to the recommender, it's not the way you sell to the influencer. So you want to identify, okay, when you're dealing with the recommender, what are you saying? When you're dealing with the decision maker, what are you saying? When you're dealing with the influencer, what are you selling? It takes different from, but the ground of it is that you are obsessed with their problem, and you are giving them a solution that they desire so much that they're willing to give you their money for. So in your turn, in the comment section, drop any sales you're currently working on that probably you've not been able to identify or you have been struggling with, that you think this solution could help you. You can just write it in the comment section and let us see it. So also, as a free gift from me, I'm dropping in the description box a checkbox of a checklist that could help you quickly identify the decision maker, the recommender, and also the influencer in any industry you are getting to across every industry that you're working. This checklist will help you quickly identify, okay, who are the main people that you need to work with. So you can download it in the description box and just keep it handy. Anytime you're getting into a deal, it can help you close deal faster, and also quickly help you identify the core people, so you don't get to be wasting time with the wrong person and spending much time on an account. And lastly, if this video has been helpful for you, click the like button, share with your loved ones, and also stay tuned for more marketing tips in 2025 as we're going to be dominating the market space. Thank you. Stay blessed by the best. Till the next time.